Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I bring a very special video for you guys because I want to talk about a topic that has been on my mind a lot recently. We've all known that 2020, 2021, these have been very interesting years to say the least. Obviously, they've been very challenging years for the world. They haven't been like 2019, 2018, 2017, any of the years before. And so I thought of making a video where I talk about the techniques that have helped me really stay focused on making sure that my life is amazing, making sure that I'm moving towards my goals and dreams, making sure that I am staying successful and I'm only attracting good things into my life. Now, I think that we can all say here in 2021, 2020, we've all been absolutely bombarded by the media. We've all been bombarded by negative, fear-based media and thinking. I think at one point or another, we've all kind of been consumed and drawn into these, I would call them pendulums, which is a word that I borrow from one of the books that I like, which is called Reality Transurfing. And so we've all been basically consumed by these pendulums that are just circulating around. What is a pendulum? A pendulum is basically just a wave of energy, and whenever there's two or more people, so whenever there's a group of people, and right now obviously there's billions of people around the world that are obsessed, absolutely obsessed with following this pendulum of you and I know what's going on. I'm not going to mention it, but this very challenging and fear-based pendulum going on in the world today. Now, for somebody like myself who's an entrepreneur and who knows that in this life, you are the creator of your dreams, you are the creator of your future, it is so important. And I honestly forgot it this year. I think I really lost touch with it this year because this pendulum that's been going on in the world has been so powerful. The most important thing is to control your thoughts, control your mind, and control what you allow to enter into your reality, because what you think about on a day-to-day basis is what you are attracting. So if I share a little bit about myself, back in 2017, when I started entrepreneurship, I was 21 years old. At that time, the world was in a very different place, obviously. As we know, there were no restrictions, let's just say, and there was no constant just brainwashing and constant trying to instill fear into people on something that is not even, I would say, it doesn't even have to affect your life. Like, honestly, if you don't turn on the TV, it doesn't affect your life. And I know people will argue with me, whatever, but my point is that back when I got into entrepreneurship when I was 21 years old in 2017, 2018, it was a totally different time. Back then, there weren't any like negative major vibes out there, you know what I mean? Like, the biggest thing really was just to, the classics, ignore negative people, set my vision, set my goals, make sure that I'm moving towards them. But now it's as if what's going on in the world is really affecting people's minds. And it's affecting people's minds to such an extent that people are unknowingly ruining their lives. Because what you think about right now in this moment, and I know a lot of people, it's hard to grasp this without understanding this. I have grasped this because everything that I've attracted, all the abundance, all the money, all the success that I've attracted into my life has been because I have focused really and intently on thinking positive thoughts and on constantly thinking about what I wanted to attract into my life. And that is how it's been. And obviously, we're human beings. We're not always thinking positive thoughts all the time. But the point of this video is how to attract success into your life. No matter what's going on in the world, especially right now, what you can do to make sure that you are attracting the good things into your life and you're not just constantly thinking about and ruminating. Ruminating thoughts are a problem, and I can tell you that's something that I've struggled with as well in the past. Especially since the beginning of this whole global situation. The best way of controlling that, the best way of eliminating those ruminating thoughts is to, number one, eliminate any sources of negativity, anything that interferes with your goals and dreams, anything. And this video is so important. I can't overstate this enough because I know that if I had trouble this year and last year with, controlling my thoughts and making sure that I don't fall into these traps that are everywhere nowadays. You turn on, any news, you go on any app, you go on Facebook, social media, it's all there, constantly talking about the same thing. We all know what it is, and it's like just a constant repeating record, right? And it has absolutely zero chance of improving your life. Like, nobody ever wanted to manifest this into their lives. And so that's why, number one, you got to eliminate any sources of negativity. You have to eliminate anything that interferes with your goals and dreams. And I was guilty of this because I'm somebody who likes to follow world events. I like to watch the news, and I found myself, holy crap, like, because I was literally looking at the news every single morning, not the TV, I'm saying just news apps and stuff like that. And because I was invested in the stock market, I kind of rationalized in my mind, you know what, it's good to look at the news, it's good to follow the numbers, it's good to, look at all that. And I realized that I suddenly started to live in a very fear-based reality, and I was not moving towards my goals and dreams, So eliminate any sources of negativity, any interference with your goals and dreams. Like I said, you don't want to be hooked into these energy pendulums, which literally, even talking about it, even looking at the news, even letting it enter into your reality, you have to actually just pretend that it does not exist. You actually, not even just pretend, just ignore it. And because what's the point of thinking about it? Whatever you think about is what you're going to attract into your life. What is the point of thinking about something that can only do you harm and that will only ruin your reality? Right? Eliminate source of negativity and stop watching the news. I know it's tempting, but stop. Don't even look at headlines. Forget about it. Stop opening the news apps, unsubscribe. You don't need to. Why? Because anyway, if the world falls apart, if there was really something that was so dramatic, people would tell you, because everybody else is watching the news. Let them do that. That's fine. And this is so important. You want to eliminate any negative people. So any people that give you bad vibes, and you have to be honest with yourself, anybody that just, when you hang out with them, it causes stress, you got to eliminate them, okay? So that's very, very important. It's better to be alone rather than together with people or a person who is locked in a negative fear-based state. Maybe they're just in a fear-based state and they have to work on it and they have to change it by following what I'm saying in this video, by eliminating sources of negativity, any kinds of interference with their goals and dreams, right? So you only want to either be alone, because that way at least you can control what you let enter into your reality and your frame, or you can hang out and spend time with people who are also just like following the things I'm saying in this video. They're refusing to even allow themselves to be bothered by what's going on in the world, to even allow themselves to waste any kind of thought energy and even let that enter the reality. That's so important because everybody's allowing this thing to enter the reality, and that's something that can only do you harm. It can only do you harm. And believe me, the amount of wasted energy that I've spent, the amount of wasted words that I've spent in 21 and 2020 just talking about this crap is absolutely absurd. Stop. Because whatever it is out there, the media, they all want you to constantly be thinking about this, and all it does is cause anxiety. Everybody thinks, oh my God, we're all going to die. It's not going to happen. Everybody needs to chill. Okay. Next step, you need to write down your vision and you need to plan out your dream life without any limits. So this is something that I've been talking about for a long time on my YouTube channel. This is something that I've been practicing ever since I got into entrepreneurship, and I think this is so important. Why? Because if you don't have a destination, you have no idea where you're going. Okay, so you need to take a piece of paper, or you can open an Evernote. That's a note-taking app that I use. I really enjoy it. I use it on my phone. I use it on my computer. It's cloud-based. It's cool. So you can go ahead, write down my vision. Write down in 2 years where you want to be. I think 2 years is a good enough timeline. And basically just plan out your dream life without any limits. So if you want to. So write down your income goal. Write down how much money you want to have in your bank account. Write down where you want to be living, what kind of house you want to be living. Forget about what's going on in the world. Don't even pay attention to any restrictions. Don't think about the how. Just write down exactly what your dream life is. I have been doing this myself for 4 years, ever since I got into entrepreneurship, and I literally attracted every single thing that I've asked for. So if you want to be in a relationship, or you want to live in a beautiful tropical house in Hawaii or in the Caribbean or somewhere, write that down, okay? So your vision should be one full page, okay? And then what you want to do with this vision is whenever you wake up in the morning, after you make your coffee, after you drink a glass of water, you want to look at your vision and you want to visualize it. You can also write down affirmations based off of your vision. Let's say one part of your vision, one thing that you want in 2 years is you want to live in a beautiful house on a beach with palm trees everywhere in the Bahamas. So what you want to do is you want to write down every single day, I am attracting my dream beautiful house, my dream beautiful tropical house in, if you have a place, the Bahamas or in the Caribbean, wherever you want to live. You don't have to put a place, it can just be tropical, and that's enough. And the universe, God will help you. So you want to practice that every single day. In the morning, visualization, affirmations, writing down your goals, super, super important. That is something that will help you throughout this time because as entrepreneurs and as people who attract their own reality, create their own reality, you have to understand that if you don't do this, you're going to be letting in negativity into your life, especially with what's going on in the world. And that's exactly what evil powers want. I don't know what other word to say it, right? Because there are evil powers out there, and just bad vibes and just, the media, whatever it is, and they want people to succumb to this. They want people to ruin their lives just by constantly ruminating and thinking about this crap. Okay, so that's step number 2, write down your vision, plan out your dream life without any limits. The next step is to read positive books and listen to only positive, informative audiobooks. Ignore any kinds of BS podcasts, ignore any kind of podcast where they even acknowledge the presence of what's going on in the world, where they talk about current events, they talk about, you know what I'm talking about. Anything involved with it, ignore that. Forget it even exists. Forget it even exists, because that's the only way that it will pass, and it's the only way that you will be able to stay focused on what you want in life, okay? And so the first book that I want to recommend, it's called Dynamic Thought, and this is a fantastic book. It was actually written, I think, in the 1800s by Henry Thomas Hamblin, and this book is so good. I recommend you buy it on Amazon. I'll put the link. I'll put the links for all the books I recommend down below. And the reason why this book is so good is because it specifically has exercises and it explains how to control your thoughts in your mind. Because again, whatever you think about right now is what you're going to attract in the future. It's almost as if you think about something, if it's a negative or a positive thing, doesn't matter, and there's a time delay. And as soon as you think about it, and if you don't cancel that thought, if you don't replace a negative thought, let's say, with a positive thought, there's going to be a time delay. Eventually, as you think more and more negative thoughts, it's going to manifest into your life. So Dynamic Thought, super, super important, super great book, highly recommend. Next one is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. That one is fantastic. The next one is The Secret, and that entire collection, The Secret, don't watch the movie, read the book. I don't know about the movie, I heard it's pretty cheesy. I recommend just reading the book because it will also reinforce that positive thinking, affirmations, not even allowing yourself to be consumed and to be, to waste your energy on thinking about negativity. So The Secret and that entire collection, I believe there's like 5 books. I actually only read The Secret. I'm rereading it right now and it's really helping. But I am going to continue reading the entire collection as well. The next one is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Fantastic book. And I would say that this one is more, he mentions God a lot. And I think it doesn't matter if you're Christian, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, if you're, Muslim, doesn't matter what religion you are, Buddhist, or if you're not religious. I think that just reading that book, and you can just replace God with the universe, higher power, whatever you want to call it, fantastic book. You need to be reading these books because if everything in society around you and everybody is tuned into this negative crap frequency that's only destroying their lives, and they're allowing themselves to basically just fully give their energy to this, both physically, you know what I'm talking about, and every other way, mentally, those people are headed downward in their life and they're not improving their lives. And so the point of this channel is for you to improve your life, for you to achieve freedom, for you to build a successful online business, for you to make money online. I make a lot of videos on e-commerce, of course, because that's my preferred method. That's my industry. That's my business that basically made me successful at the age of 21. And that's what I do every single day, other than making YouTube videos and other than coaching people on e-com freedom as well. So, The Power of Positive Thinking. Next one is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Really great book. And so I would say a great quote that represents this book is, as a man thinketh, so shall he become. This is actually a quote from the Bible, Proverbs 23:7. And so I just pulled this because I think that it really represents what I'm saying in this video really, really well. So those books, buy them, read them. They will help you. They will help you tune yourself out of these negative frequencies. Now, the next piece of advice that I have for you, and this is something that I practice as well, never let yourself be drawn into energy fields that don't serve you. Remember that nobody can force you to do anything without your own will and without your own persuasion of yourself, because you can't actually persuade anybody. You can only have a person persuade themselves. And so obviously through a constant barrage of fear-based programming that you see on social media and everywhere else, that is how people are allowing themselves to succumb to this, and they draw themselves into these energy fields that don't serve them. And so that's why it's so important to understand nobody can force you to do anything without your own will and persuasion. And if you even acknowledge the presence of any limits that the higher powers or whatever it is impose on you, that's already a failure. You need to forget about any limits. Life is abundant, and whenever there is a difficult period in the world, there's always going to be a great period. It's cyclical. It's the seasons of life. That's another great book by Jim Rohn. So never let yourself be drawn into energy fields that don't serve you. Don't do anything that goes against your gut. Follow your intuition. And if you do that, you'll be good. And the next final step is live your dream future today as best as you can. Listen to amazing music. Go out into nature. Leave the city. The city is a constant. That's where, everybody is thinking about what I'm talking about, thing in the world, obviously. And so in the city, you can see it. You can feel it off people's faces, right? So get in your car, go out into nature, go in the mountains if you have access to mountains, or, any kind of nature, whatever it is. But trees and nature and fresh air like that just heals you. If you have access to that, you should take advantage, because you still have that. What's going on in the world is only a problem if you pay attention to it, if you go on the apps on your phone, on social media, whatever it is, right? So whenever you see bad stuff Just ignore it, let it pass, be like, okay, yeah, cool, doesn't affect me, whatever, let it pass, and that's it. Be like, literally, I don't care. Never ever worry about anything. Never ever worry about your health. Never worry about getting sick. Don't worry about that, because most people nowadays are constantly worrying, and I'm telling you, this is something that I struggle with as well, because I found myself just like tuning into these negative frequencies. And so I just one day snapped out of it. I was like, what is this? What kind of BS am I allowing into my mind? And so this is why it's so important to really control your surroundings and don't let yourself be hooked into negative energy fields, negative pendulums. Whenever people talk about just bad things, stop or leave the room. Nobody's forcing you. Listen to great music. One thing is, a lot of people today, one thing that I've noticed that's been trending a lot is this, the mental health movement. And that's great that people are acknowledging that, there are many people out there with mental health issues and things like that. But something that I think matters even more is the fact that if you start to really tune into that frequency of mental health, if you tune into that frequency, you start to ask yourself questions. What kind of mood am I in? Do I have any mental health issues? You know what I mean? I think a lot of people, and this is something that I even found myself thinking about because it's constantly everywhere. There are certain things that are everywhere nowadays, certain trends, if you notice in the media. And so that's why it's so important to understand whatever you think about and let into your reality, even the acknowledgement of a problem that doesn't even exist, you'll manifest it in your life, whether it's just a worry, whether it's anxiety, it's going to be a negative energy suck from you, okay? Don't be the sucker. In life, there's always a sucker. Don't let yourself be the sucker. It's a good quote. So I would say these are the absolute best pieces of advice to thrive, flourish, succeed in this world, and to just understand that nobody can change your reality, only you. There's a great book that just came to my mind, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It's very famous. It's about a Jewish guy who he was in Auschwitz, I think, in a concentration camp, and he was obviously being abused, beaten, all these things, right? He was literally afraid that he was going to get gassed every single day, and he talks about his journey. And one day he realized that doesn't matter like all the abuse that the Germans and the Nazis at the time were basically making himself go through. He realized that he could create a paradise in his mind. He could create a paradise, with his thoughts. And that was his best way to actually attract that paradise of reality. And so he actually survived. While many of those people that were in their camps, they basically succumbed and died. I would guess, obviously there was the physical aspect, but first you lose mental motivation, you lose motivation for life, you lose the will to live, and then it goes, then you start manifesting all these physical things. So that's why, again, another piece of proof there that you manifest your reality, whatever you think about today, right now, your thoughts, whatever you let into your reality, whatever even acknowledge exists, that is what you're going to attract. So I wanted to make this video today for my subscribers, for everybody out there who is wanting to achieve freedom, who is building their online businesses, because that's my audience. You guys are learning e-commerce, you guys are learning how to become wealthy, how to become successful, and now there's never been a better time. There's never been a better time to do this. Remember that you attract your reality. Remember that you will manifest the things that you allow to enter in your life and in your mind and your reality. And so that is why it is so important to control that through all the pieces of advice that I gave you here in this video today. Thank you so much. I hope this helped you out. Subscribe to my channel. I'm super busy nowadays with my businesses, with e-commerce and with coaching students in Ecom Freedom. We actually just had a massive Black Friday sale as I'm making this video, and it was super successful. Hundreds of people joined, took action, and they're building their successful online businesses. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have tons of videos on my channel showing you how to build a successful online business with e-commerce, and it's something that I've been doing every single day for the past 4 years that basically gave me everything in my life, literally gave me freedom, everything that I've ever wanted, and allowed me to achieve all my goals and dreams. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, stay positive, don't be hooked by negativity, and remember that only you can decide what you let into your life, what actions you take. You don't have to be a sheep. We're not sheep. We're entrepreneurs. We are people that create our own reality. We're not just followers, okay? And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to think for yourself. That's key in this life. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.